back with Designer Mystery Block of the Month 6/Block 6 Abundance, and it is by Bridget Heatland. I am going to be doing this cutting today. I've already got all my fabrics pressed and ready to go. I do need a board though. Where's my boards? I do need my stickers because, you know, I thought I was prepared, but of course I'm not. What did I do with all my stickers? Here they are. I'm also going to go show a little bit more how I use my, what's it called? Stripology. There's been a couple of people that said they're still having a little bit of hard time. So I'm just going to kind of show you as best I can of explaining how I use it and where I'm cutting and all that. So, anyways, so I'm going to move y'all down. Okay. So my numbers, so everything is turned right, of course, you know. And I always fold my fabric where my selvage, especially if I have a selvage and I can tell where my selvage is always on the back, but up. And that way I fold it basically selvage to selvage, even though this is already cut off, it would have been selvage to selvage. So I fold it, and I always line up my bottom fold line with this black line right at the bottom. You can see that it's upside down, but you can see where it says 0 and that solid black line. It's a little bit thinner on the sides, but I always make sure that where the 0 and the 6, I always make sure it's straight across there, okay? And I do have a little bit, which is fine because it's not even. So then what I do is I cut off right there at that 0, and then I cut my size. So here it's 4.5, so I cut at 4.5. So I'll cut away my selvage, and I'll put this to the side just for a moment because I don't need that right now. And then what I do, okay, so I know my top and my bottom are perfect. Or not perfect, they're straight. They're cut straight. Right here is not cut straight. So what I do is I line my top, or first I line my bottom, where it's going to go line up perfectly with that solid black line. And then since it's a half cut, the white lines on the side right here are half cuts. So the black lines are whole cuts, the white lines are half cuts. Except your 6, that's just showing that that's right there in the middle because it's showing the middle. So it's perfectly on my half. It's perfectly on the whole and then the half, okay? So then what I do is right here at the 0, I cut off there. And then I make my next cut there. And then I need, so I needed 2 4.5-inch squares. So next I need 2.5 by 4.5-inch rectangles. And I'm not going to tell you any more cuttings because I can't. But so I have a 4.5 here. So then I'm going to count over 2.5. So I go 1, 2.5, which is going to be 7. So then I have my 2 squares I need right there. So I'm going to put those on. And then I have my 2 rectangles I need. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead before I forget, label those. Okay. And then C, I just need, okay. So I'm going to see if I have enough on here, and I do. So again, you're going to line up, you know, your tops and bottoms are cut correctly. I always leave a little extra just because I want to be able to make sure that first cut's right. So I cut at 0 again and then cut at the size that I need. So then I turn it back over. And I know this will kind of fall down this edge right here will fall down next to your fabric, and so you can butt it up to it. Well, all my lines are perfect, and so then I'm going to cut my next cut I need. So then I have my next 2 cuttings that I need. Okay. This is the excess I have right now, so I'm just going to put this over to the side. So I know my cut right here because I cut off what I did the first time. So I know that is correct. So I'm going to butt my fabric up towards it and then bring my bottom line down here. And it's going to go straight across all the way to my 6. And then my fabric is butted up. So you can see right here where there's a gap. I kind of press that down and then push over. Okay. And then I cut what I need. 2, 4, 6. 8. Okay, so I'm gonna have to cut. And it shows your square is a 2.5 cuts. Your stars are 1.5 cuts, and down here are 2.5 cuts. And you'll see where your stars and your squares are. I hope y'all can hear me. I put my mic on my sleeve this time because I always get tired of it being at my neck. And please make sure your blade is stayed shut. Okay, and then what I do is I just turn them over, and then I line them up. On here, you can kind of see my dots, and they don't have to be perfectly lined up, but they're, for the most part, lined up pretty good. Okay, and then I put my bottom line, I line it up and make sure it's lined up at the top too. So it's lined up at top and bottom, and I'm going to scoot it over a tad. That way I can make sure I don't cut off too much of the selvage over here. So you can see my folded line right here at the 10.5. So then I'm going to cut off at the 0. And then what I need, two, 4, 6, 18, 12. This might be enough there. Okay, let me see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. That's right? I think so. And then here's my other squares that I need for that. And then I'm just going to put these to the side. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mark these because I've done these. Okay, so now I just need 1 square. So what I'm going to do, so this is, I pressed it so it's a little wonky, okay? It is a square, so it don't really matter what, so I'm not going to worry about lining top or bottom up because their lines aren't going to match. I'm just going to get my 0 over here as close to the edge without going over. That way I can cut some off, and I'm going to cut. Okay. Then I'm going to turn my square, and now I'm going to line up my 0 black line on the bottom of that fabric. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut at the 0 and then cut at the piece the size that I need. Okay. Put this off to the side. Okay. So now the top and bottom are straight. And like I said, I know this is straight, but I'm still going to cut part of it off just because I want to, I'm just weird like that, I guess. Okay. And then there's the piece I need there. Okay, F. Okay, so see right here, I have my selvage here. I'm going to fold my fabric as evenly as I can get it. Okay. Match my fold line to my black line. And I like to move it over a little because I can tell where it is on that thinner line on the outside. That's why, especially if it doesn't come all the way out here. Okay. So I'm going to cut that to 0. And then cut the size I need. Close your rotary cutter so you don't cut yourself. So my tops and bottom are what?
Just so you know, I'm done with my books.
Okay, well, pick the rest of your room up, your closet and stuff. So the half mark's going to be on the white, and then my black mark's going to be at the bottom of my fabric. Cut off at the 0. 2, 4. I only need 5, but I cut 6. Okay. This over to the side. So I actually don't need one of these, so I'm going to put this over there with the fabric, and then I've got my 5. Okay. Okay, so same thing with this. I'm actually going to let me see. Okay, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use my large and the long one. Okay. I'm going to come back around this side because I don't like to cut cross. So that side I know is straight. And I'm sure y'all know how to use these. So now I'll line up. And I know my ruler's upside down. I'm going to cut off this piece right here. Oh, how long is this piece? 8.5. I'm gonna look at something, make sure this is 8.5. Yeah, so this is 8.5. I don't like cutting the width. Dadgummit, I don't wanna. You know what? I'm just gonna, I didn't want to have to fold this fabric, but I'm gonna have to. I know this side is straight, so I'm gonna line this up and fold it. Just don't like doing it at the edge of that, which I guess I should have. Okay, so I know that's straight. Glare. Okay, so I got my 2 rectangles here. I still got a nice big piece. And I'll actually... Okay, so there is my cutting for the block 6, month 6 for the Designer Mystery block of the month. That is how I use my Stripology. I know I had at least one lady said that she still couldn't get it down. It did take me a little bit more practice to get comfortable with it, and actually cutting on here has helped me get that more comfortable to be using that. So that is how I use mine. I'm planning on getting these sewn today. Like I said, I've got my strawberry garden in this. And I may actually do this first because it's only 1 block. I am going to be doing on my strawberry garden, one of the blocks I have to do 4. So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 off camera. Or I'll probably make all 3 off camera and then make 1 on camera. And then the cross and crown block, I'm supposed to do 2. I'll make 1 off camera and 1 on camera. That way y'all aren't sitting there watching me over and over do the same thing. So, and there'll be kind of quick little videos for y'all. Putting on my fabric. I do keep all my fabrics by month in my little bags just to make sure they kind of stay together. So like when I'm done with my pattern, when I'm done with my little paper pattern, then I will put that in here, and that way I know what I did that month, what fabrics I used or whatever. I don't stack them all together. Now after the months are done, I'll probably buy something to put all my patterns in because they're all separate, and then I'll put all my fabric in a little bag together. But for now, because in case I mess up royally and need some fabric, then I can go back and see what month I did what in. But it just kind of keeps it all nice and neat. So there's that. So anyways, I hope that helped for anybody that's, what's the word I'm looking for, that doesn't feel as confident or as comfortable using your Stripology. I hope that helps just a little bit. To me, it just, I know I had my other, the lady that bought it did a bunch of the classes then when she was open, and so I had a few times of her helping me, but it actually, just sitting down and cutting my fabric, it really helped me, and I've learned a lot more by doing that. But I'm one of the ones that you can sit there and talk to me till you're blue in the face, but until I actually do it, like hands on, it doesn't stick up here. So that's just me. So anyways, I hope that helped a little bit, and I will see y'all soon. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye, y'all.